Hello. Hello, Sweet Spot listeners. Welcome back. Welcome back to Making Moves Monday. I'm Dr. Sweet. I'm your host. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist, and I specialize in sports psychiatry and high performance. Today, my friends, we're diving into a topic that resonates with many of us. Finding courage to take that initial step towards a goal or a change we need to make. And since today is Making Moves Monday, it makes sense that we figure out what do we need to embrace so that we have the courage, the motivation, and the energy to take that first step. Now, I don't know what you need to face or handle today, whether it's starting a new project, initiating a difficult conversation, getting out to practice, pursuing a long-held dream, making some kind of a investment, whatever it is. Making that first move can be a bit daunting. So that's why we have Making Moves Monday. Have you ever wondered why stepping into the unknown feels so intimidating? It's because our brains are hardwired to prioritize our safety and keep things predictable. Remember, in this podcast, we've talked about brain structures that affect our fear and our anxiety, like the amygdala in the limbic system, often referred to as the brain's fear center. It plays a huge role, as I've discussed with you before, when we have to process emotions like fear or anxiety or face the unknown. So when faced with an uncertainty, that amygdala in our brains can trigger this fight or flight response. Or freeze. We can do three things. We can kind of run, we can turn and be aggressive, or we can just freeze and do nothing. And it causes us to hesitate, to avoid taking action, or sometimes just overreact. So a big part of it is trying to get the other side of our brain, the brain's CEO. Remember I talked to you about that before? The prefrontal cortex that's located in the front of the brain and responsible for higher order functions such as our decision making, our planning, and really the ability for us to control our impulses, right? That prefrontal cortex is the area of the brain that helps us weigh the pros and the cons. It helps us think through what the future might look like if we do A, B, or C. And it also helps us regulate our emotions and makes us more courageous if we have to override that amygdala. So it's like this. You see a dark alley, and your amygdala says, no way, don't go down that alley. Something bad is going to happen to you. Run, or freeze, or get ready to fight. And then the prefrontal cortex might say something like, hey, you've been down this road before. It's just 30 seconds to walk through it. Nothing's going to happen. You've done this 100 times. Just walk down there and you'll be fine. And so it's this balance that we're always doing when we have to take a bold step. There's a dynamic interaction between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Our fear response versus our rational thinking response. Does that make sense? I know it does. So understanding this interplay can help empower us to manage our fears and move forward with confidence. Reflecting on history, as far back as 1855, John Mercer Langston became the first African American elected, one of the first African Americans elected to a public office in the United States. Think about that. He served as the town clerk in Brownhelm Township, Ohio, in 1855, my friends. How long ago was that? Now, his Making Moves Monday decision to run for office wasn't just about his personal ambition. He had to have courage. He had to really balance his amygdala and his prefrontal cortex to really go forward and become this first African American to be in the Congress. And that took a lot of courage. And he faced a lot of adversity and a lot of pushback, as you might imagine. So how can we muster that same courage That same courage that John Mercer Langston had back in 1855. How can we muster that courage to take our own first steps on this Making Moves Monday? I have a few strategies for you, and they're very, very simple. The first thing you got to do is break it down. Instead of focusing on the huge task, what the science says in psychology is always divide things into smaller, manageable steps. When you do that, this approach makes the process less overwhelming, and it allows you to celebrate the small victories along the way. And progress leads to more progress once you do it that way. You know, as the kids always say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay, one foot in front of the other. The other thing is, in addition to breaking it down, you have to visualize success. I do a lot of work with athletes, and we spend a lot of time on guided imagery and visualization. We spend time imagining positive outcomes for actions. And you know what? Visualization can enhance your motivation, it can reduce anxiety, and it can help make the path forward clearer. Sometimes when you're laying in the bed and you have something important to do, visualize yourself as doing it, accomplishing it. See yourself as successful. Imagine it and see it in your eyes, in your brain's eyes, in your mind. And believe me, it helps you when it becomes time to act. Athletes and performers do it all the time. And the third thing is to seek some support. Don't be an island. Always share your intentions with a trusted, and I do mean trusted, somebody who's going to support you, not somebody who's going to just be like a wet blanket and tear you down, right? You want to share your intentions with a trusted friend or mentor, because that encouragement can provide you just the right motivation you need to take that first step. Like I'm trying to do with you right now, right here on Making Moves Monday. I'm telling you, you can do this. You can, 1, break it down into something smaller. 2, visualize yourself as being successful. And 3, ride the support I'm giving you right now, or talk to somebody that cares about you and get cracking, get going. Remember, as Nelson Mandela once said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Why do I like that quote? Because it reminds us that it's okay to feel afraid. What's important is taking action despite that fear. Remember that book that I told you by Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear, but Do It Anyway. All right, my friends, this week, I want you to think about one area in your life where you've been a little hesitant, that you know you need to act, and I don't know, maybe it's a project you've been putting off, or a conversation, or an action, something you need to do. And I want you to apply the strategies we've just discussed. Break it down into smaller steps, visualize the success you desire, and reach out. Reach out to someone who can offer you support. Remember, every significant journey always begins with a single step. So I want you to embrace the courage inside of you and make that move today on a Making Moves Monday here at The Sweet Spot. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you found this discussion helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit, someone you care about. And let's continue to inspire and support each other in taking bold steps towards our goals. All right, now, for more insights into overcoming fear, taking action, and living a life you love, please check me out on LinkedIn, check me out on X, check me out on Instagram, and I'm on Threads as well. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for Take Action Tuesday. We're going in. I'm Dr. Sweet.